Welcome to the Retro Video Store Podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Retro Video Store Podcast. I'm your host Eric.
Hi, Eric.
And that's my co-host Neil.
I'm Neil, and who even had themselves a little vacation and some time to get their life figured out to be here to record and didn't.
Yeah, David's not here this week. He got called away to a fire. So that's what he's doing right now. Maybe he's talking to a guy on a CB radio right now.
Being a firefighter and not a fire preventer, I guess that really makes him a little more on the reactionary side.
Yeah, gets called out and check out that smoke. They're smoking them in their hills.
Sitting on those watchtowers waiting for the inbred mutants to come and get you all.
So right now we're in the middle of a 90s kind of 90s, early 2000s roll right now. And today we're talking about Joyride from 2001. It's a movie that I think I watched once a long, long time ago, probably the end of 2001, and hadn't thought about too much, and watched it again this past week for the podcast, and it's pretty good. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's not great, but it's entertaining, and you know, there's worse ways to spend 97 minutes. So, but
how long does a colonoscopy take? How long does a colonoscopy take?
I think an hour. I don't know. Prep time takes a lot. I don't know. But we did take a week break, which was kind of nice. Now it does feel whenever we don't do the podcast, it's kind of like, oh, nice, but it's also like, oh my God, we didn't do the podcast. I feel my whole sense of time is all askew. Like today's Memorial Day, but it doesn't feel that way. It still feels like, you know, like a week behind or something. I'm just kind of trying to catch up.
Having 3 days off like in a row really messes with me too.
Yeah. It just feels out of sorts.
Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be my Monday. Tuesday should be a little more on the joyous side, but now I'm not looking forward to that. This is not a good thing. I don't see how people work, you know, they get the 4 on 3 off. You know, you work, work 4 10s and then get 3 days off. When I worked
midnights for a long, long time, I worked from 9 p.m. till 7 a.m. and I had 3 days off. And the whole first day was just recovering from the last 4 days. And then 2 days you try to pretend like you were normal. And then you would go back to working nights through the next 4. So it was kind of topsy-turvy. But since we've been off, I imagine hopefully we watched a bunch of stuff. I know I watched a ton of stuff. Neil, you didn't watch anything good?
Yeah, I mean, went to the theater and watched The Mandalorian and Grogu.
How was that?
I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to treat it more like, you know, the old school serials. A lot of throwback, a lot of visuals from the original things that they did. There was even a sequence with the robots where the robots looked stop motion, which I kind of appreciated. I don't know if they were, but they did. They looked that way. But I mean, was it bad? No. Was it great? Also, no. It was fun.
Yeah.
Just chilled out and watched it. Watched this, and then binge watched a series on Peacock called MIA.
What's that about?
It's about a girl who's got a family that runs drugs for a cartel. Mm-hmm. And then they're very meticulous. They plan things out and then they switch it up on them because the guy who was running the cartel dies, his kids take over. And so they can't really tell him no. So they go to do it. A bunch of stuff happens. They lose the cargo and the girl has a crisis of conscience. And the crisis of conscience ends up getting the entire family killed. And then she takes like 50 bajillion episodes to try to start exacting some revenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There it is. I mean, I'll watch the second season if there's a second season. I kind of got invested in the storyline. I'm like,
yeah,
start killing some cartel guys. Let's go.
Let's do that. Come on.
Let's kill some cartel people. They're not nice people. So yeah. I wish Dave was here. Then I could distract myself, but I guess I'm just going to straight up ask you, so what'd you watch, Eric?
I watched a lot of stuff this week. A bunch of true crime. I bought a movie for $4 on Amazon because I was going to rent it, but when it's $2.99 to rent and then $3.99 to buy, might as well just buy it. So I bought Race with the Devil from 1975, and it is a very sweet spot satanic movie where, it has all the essential Satanism stuff that I'm looking for. And it's kind of a road horror movie, a little bit like the movies that we've been watching lately. And it's got Warren Oates, Peter Fonda, and Loretta Swit. If you couldn't get any more 70s, 70s than that. It's a PG movie, but it has nudity. And it's about this guy who owns a motorcycle company. Him and his partner, business partner, decided to take their wives out on a road trip from Texas all the way to Colorado. And they're camping out in Texas, and they witness a satanic sacrifice where the Satanists catch them, observing them, and then they chase them all the way through Texas. And it's one of those where everybody is a Satanist, no matter which town you go to. People are looking at you, and then there's this big conspiracy that everybody in these small towns are Satanists, and you can't turn anywhere without running into one, and just getting chased. It's got a lot
you can't swing a Satanist without hitting a Satanist.
Exactly. It is really fun because it's got some really old school car chase scenes, and the Satanists are basically hippies, a lot of hippies with big man bags and mutton chops, and it was just very of its time. But it really kind of hit a sweet spot for me because I was looking for something, a little devilish. Yeah, I'm kind of in that mood, so I decided to watch that, and I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. I was pleased by Joyride, not Joyride, by Race with the Devil. We're talking about Joyride. And then yesterday I saw Obsession, which is a new Blumhouse horror film, and I have to say it's probably the best horror movie I've seen in like 6-7 years. It was unsettling as fuck, and it had a very good jump scare, and it's one of those things that use tension very well. There's no fake outs, and there's no here's a cat jumping out of a refrigerator or a cat jumping out of there's no fake out jump scares. You just know it's going to happen. This jump scare is going to happen, but when it happens, I have not yelled in the theater before. I was like, no, it really screwed me up. And the entire audience was screaming and laughing, and it was really, really good. Some guy named Curry Barker, who did some horror shorts on YouTube, and he got $750,000 to make this movie, and it's already made $75 million at the box office. It is a big success, and the girl who is the lead character, who plays the obsessed girl, she's really, really good. Really good acting, really good part. It's probably one of the better horror movies I've seen in a while. I was legit. I would Weapons was the big horror movie of last year. I was like, that was really good. I'd say this is better than Weapons. It's kind of a slow burn. It takes a while to get everything going, but once it starts going, it's just like this. The train keeps going up. The roller coaster keeps going up the track, and then finally comes down. And the last 20 minutes are just nuts. So I highly recommend it. So Obsession, check it out. It's probably one of the best horror movies I've seen in a while. I don't know if you are a fan of the Retro Video Store and you are on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel where we basically post the current episode that you can listen to. Well, we're going to start trying to do a little bit of video content. I shot a short today, and I'm going to try to do some for Instagram and stuff like that. Just try to get our name out there a little more. I feel like I'm a little lackadaisical when it comes to promoting the podcast. We have 280 episodes, and we're doing okay, but I think we could do more. So look for us for some video content. Maybe we'll do a full video episode.
I'm still doing that thing on the website with my feet.
Feetfinder.com?
And I write Retro Video Store. That's making some spare change. So that's good.
Yeah. So if you see that, give us the thumbs up. And if you have any episode suggestions, rvspodcast222@gmail.com. We will definitely read your email on the air. And but definitely check out Obsession if you have a moment. It's really, really good. I watched a third movie, and it's in the back of my head now. I can't remember what it was. I know that Aliens has been on a lot on HBO, so I watched most of Aliens the other day, and then Terminator 2 has been on quite a bit, but nothing is scarier than the Edward Furlong Japanese music video he made for the Japanese market.
Yeah. Every time I see that, I just send it to you. Like, oh, Edward Furlong, boom. That's almost as good as that Kevin Hart that single that he did.
Oh, my God, he's so nasally. Kevin Hart is such a nasal singer.
Very much.
That's kind of funny. I think once you reach a certain point of success, people never tell you no, or the people that do tell you no, you've already kind of pushed out of your lives, so you just do whatever you want. And Eddie Furlong thought he could be a pop star. Kevin Hart thought he could be
Kevin Hart.
Yeah. But let's talk about Joyride from 2001. Do you want to hit us with the Internet Movie Database tagline?
3 young people on a road trip from Colorado to New Jersey talk to a trucker on their CB radio, then must escape when he turns out to be a psychopathic killer.
Rusty Nail.
Doesn't the road trip start? Doesn't this kid live in California? Doesn't it start in California and then he works his way?
Yeah, and that's totally wrong because he starts. Yeah, you're right. He starts in California, and they finally make it to Colorado, and then things still escalate from there. But most of it happens on the way to Colorado.
When he picked up his idiot brother. Oh my God.
Yeah, his brother was an asshole and totally broke bro code. Not only did he break bro code, he literally broke brother code, like blood brother code. You don't pick up on the guy, the girl that your brother is interested in, and make stupid decisions all up and down
all up and down the highway. These guys making bad choices.
Making bad choices. Yes. So this movie came out in September 9th of 2001 at the Toronto International Film Festival. Not a very good timing for the release of that movie, but then it came out wide in the U.S. on October 5th of 2001. Budget was $23 million. Worldwide box office at $36.6 million. So it was a modest hit, but not a huge one. But grew as most of the movies that we talk about on home video and cable, just cult movies. How many movies? I mean, pretty much like 90% of the movies that we talk about flopped initially, and then
grew lived on through home video.
Yeah, exactly. The interesting thing to me about movies that get popular on home video now, I mean, it is literally streaming, and just what movies catch on streaming wise versus what doesn't. There's certain movies that are from the past that happen to catch on, and there's other things that'll kind of get forgotten. And I have felt this urge lately to buy more Blu-rays. I don't know. There's something about me. I want more physical media. I haven't really pulled the trigger on any, but there's something about me. It's just like, it sucks when I can't find this streaming anywhere. Why don't I just have it? But lately, you can buy the movie on Amazon for $4. So, I've bought a few.
It's going to be like some weird Blu-ray hoarder situation. Like people, we haven't heard from Eric in months. They can't get through the house because of the stacks of like records and CDs and Blu-rays. And then you're just sort of in the back. The cats ate you.
Mm-hmm. I just still love physical media. I know it doesn't really make sense when it comes to storage and stuff like that. But I just like having them. Do you remember a movie called It Came from Hollywood?
Yes.
And it was just a bunch of clips of sci-fi movies from the 50s and 60s. And it had Cheech and Chong and John Candy and Dana Aykroyd and Gilda Radner. And they all were talking about the movies, these clips. And it's super, super funny. I found it on Amazon for $4 and downloaded it. And it was a huge blast from the past. And that is one thing you could not find on physical media, but it just happened to be available on Amazon. So I guess there is good and bad in the what's available.
It's got to be at a garage sale somewhere.
Yeah. I still have a Conan the Barbarian on VHS.
Hang on to that. Good man. Hang on.
Yeah. I'll never get rid of that. That's for some reason I have Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark on Laserdisc, even though I don't own a Laserdisc player.
The big freaking Laserdisc.
Yeah. All right. So released October 5th, 2001. Screenplay was by Clay Tarver and J.J. Abrams. Kind of interesting that J.J. Abrams was behind this. This is one of those movies I think really reflects a time before cell phones were widely available. They're calling people from pay phones at gas stations and CB radio. That's one thing I like about the movie because it captures that before time of cell phones. Remember having to have a map book in your car?
Having the map book, stop to get a map at a gas station. You got to keep a handful of quarters handy just in case you got to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Or if not, see if they would even be cool enough to like give you change or you had to buy something.
When they're running credit cards, they're still doing the little,
the
paper thing where you do an indentation of the credit card itself. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't show up on your bill for forever until the business that you bought something from would report the credit card sale.
So let's take a throwback here. In one of the scenes, looking at the gas prices, $1.32 a gallon.
Oh my God! I paid $68 for a tank of gas.
I'm paying well over $100.
Really? You're in California. You're in California. Sorry.
Yeah. My God, man. It's already the gas gets so expensive during the summer because they do the special blend or mix, whatever, to try to cut back on the smog and all that other stuff. But with all the foolishness that's going on here, like gas, some places up to like $6.55 a gallon.
Oh my God.
Right now.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Those old gas prices were just, that's a throwback. Totally. In the sense this would happen right before September 11th, 2001, those gas prices probably went up pretty quickly after that too.
Yeah.
But not necessarily 641 or whatever it is. Where
655 was the one I went by today. Yeah.
That's crazy. So one thing that happens in the movie that I think is kind of odd is, how they procure the CB radio. It's just easy to, we're going to stop here. They're going to put the antenna in and then wire everything really quick while we're just kind of waiting around. That was
these weird little shops out in the middle of nowhere just happen. Yeah. Okay, hey, we got a windshield for you. We got a CB radio for you. Okay, so we lived out in the middle of nowhere. When I was in middle school, I had a CB. Mm-hmm. I had it in my bedroom. And would get on there and, knew a couple people that like lived within like 3-4 miles. And we'd get on there and like talk back and forth as like a novelty thing. And sometimes because we live so near that major highway that you could sometimes hear truckers coming through.
Yeah, my stepdad had a very nice Toyota Land Cruiser, which would be, would go for a shitload of money. Nowadays, it was my mom and my dad both had Land Cruisers. Stepdad had Land Cruisers. My mom had a red one, and my stepdad had a yellow one. Mm-hmm. And they had the cool seats that faced each other in the back. And then they had a CB radio. And I remember my stepdad talking on the CB radio, looking for those Smokies out there. It seems such a weird concept, Citizens Band radio. But it was so huge in the 70s. There was even a movie based on it with Convoy. We got a great big convoy
across the USA. Convoy. Yeah, I remember my dad had to have one for a while. He had a truck, and I remember playing with it as we were driving back from, I think it was Star Wars.
Man, we're old.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, the CB radios and walkie-talkies, all those things were really cool. And that, the CB radios were very prevalent back in the day before your cell phones. I remember cell phone technology.
Walkie-talkies had that metallic-y kind of smell because you could sit there and hold the switch sort of in between on and in between off. It would have that real particular odor to it.
Just like the old racetrack, the racetracks where you would put the car on, the car was on a little like a little slot, that would drive on. You would hit that, and it had that kind of metallic-y electric burning smell.
Yeah.
Remember, you could make your own army men and own. You could like it was like a hot metal mold, and you would put the plastic in there, and it would heat it up in the mold, and you would make your own army men. And that was like dangerous. Burn the shit out of yourself. They even had ones where you did the monsters and like bugs and stuff like that.
I remember the vending machines where you could get like, it would do the plastic into the mold and it would pop it out and you'd have like a little statue.
Oh yeah.
Those are cool. And that was just 3D printers.
Yeah. That's cool. Do you have a 3D? Never mind. You have a 3D printer. I know that. Duh.
Yeah. I have a Prusa Core 1.
Nice.
Throwing a little something out there. Joseph Prusa, if you're listening and you want me to rate any of your stuff, just send it on over and I'll be happy to assemble that printer and give everybody some feedback on it. Not a problem, my man.
So the director of Joyride was John Dahl, Dahl. He was a director and kind of did some neo-noir movies. He did Red Rock West with Nicolas Cage and Dennis Hopper. And he did The Last Seduction, which was a pretty good one with Linda Fiorentino, Bill Pullman. Did Unforgettable, which was Ray Liotta, Linda Fiorentino again. Rounders, which is the underground poker movie I've never seen. I know there's a lot of fans of Rounders. Then he did Joyride, a movie called The Great Raid, and then You Kill Me in 2007. Then after that, he's been just doing television. He's been directing a ton of TV shows, including Manhunt. It sounds like something on Deep Cable.
I remember Red Rock West had one of the best performances from Dwight Yoakam ever.
Oh, yeah.
He was a truck driver, and Nicolas Cage is on top of his truck, and he's like, "What are you doing up there, Spider-Man?" And I forget what he tells him, and he cocks his gun. He goes, you see that? Or you hear that? I forget what he said. That's my automatic reaction to bullshit. So great. That's all I remember about the movie.
I mostly remember Dwight Yoakam being a total dickhead in Sling Blade.
There was that.
Yeah, yes. He did a good job of that one, being an asshole in Sling Blade.
And then The Preacher in Four Christmases.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of an underrated comedy.
He was also in The Wedding Crashers because he's getting a divorce from Rebecca De Mornay in that movie. So this movie had 2 sequels, both direct-to-video, Joyride 2, Dead Ahead, and Joyride 3, Roadkill. Yeah.
I missed all of them, too. I can't believe it.
Ooh, Lily Sobieski. Yes. See that? I think that was the picture I looked at yesterday.
I don't know if anybody can tell from the amount of joy that just came across in Eric's voice.
So this was an early appearance by Paul Walker. He looked super young in this movie. I'm not sure how many movies he had done before this one, but he looked crazy young. Paul Walker was obviously from the Fast and the Furious series.
Riveting
podcasting. Well, if you want to really go back, he did a commercial for Pampers at age 2. Did some commercials for Showbiz Pizza. Was in a CBS School Break special. Highway to Heaven. Who's the Boss? Charles in Charge. Then he was in a movie called Tammy and the T-Rex. He was in that movie, which is a fucking crazy movie.
Yeah,
have you seen Tammy and the T-Rex?
Yes.
That's the one that we should probably do someday. That is a crazy one. Pleasantville, Varsity Blues, She's All That, and then The Skulls. Then he was in the Fast and Furious and Joyride, and then sadly died in a car accident. Bummer. But he looked super young in this movie. Steve Zahn plays his dickhead brother, Fuller. And I'm not a huge Steve Zahn fan of he's good in some stuff or whatever. I know people are like Zahn heads. I love Steve Zahn. And I'm just like, really? I don't know.
He's amazing in the new Anaconda.
I still want to see that one. I haven't seen that yet.
You need to. It's got one of the most ridiculous scenes I've seen in so long, revolving around Steve Zahn's character and not being able to pee unless he's sitting down. It's fucking amazing. It's so amazing.
I remember him in Reality Bites. That's probably the first movie I remember him in. And then he was in that movie with Jack Black where they're in the Neil Diamond tribute band. Saving Silverman. Okay, that also came out in 2001. Early Jack Black appearance. He's been in quite a few movies. Steve Zahn keeps working. He was a dad in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. If you have a child, I'm sure you've seen
I've seen those.
listeners seen those.
Thanks for bringing back that memory. Cheese touch. It's the cheese touch.
Those were funny books. I remember Andrew read every single one of them. That was like a favorite series of his back in the day.
Zooey Mama.
So Lily Sobieski, she was Venna, which is a weird name. The object of affection for Paul Walker's Lewis, who he decides he's going to give her a ride all the way back to New Jersey, pick her up in Colorado.
All I remember about Lily Sobieski, because I'd completely forgotten about her career, I guess, was her going on to late night talk shows and reciting her poetry.
Yikes. Yeah. I guess she hasn't acted since retired from acting since 2012. So good on her for getting out of there. I got her and the other girl who was in Save the Last Dance mixed up together. I think they seemed like the same person to me. I can't remember the name of that actress. They were both popular at the same time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I get her and Julia Stiles mixed up. But when you look at it, I guess they don't really look like each other. But for some reason in my brain, they're like mixed together. But I would say maybe Lily Sobieski is a better actress. I don't know. Haven't really dived deep into Julia Stiles' filmography.
Well, I took a look. There's one here that I want to watch. Apparently, Lily Sobieski goes on David Letterman after 9/11 and recites one of her poems.
Ugh. Neil lives for the cringe. One thing you must know about Neil, he really loves uncomfortable situations and people doing things that are maybe beyond their scope of talent. Every day I get, half a dozen reels from Neil with people who think they're great singers and they're terrible, really, really, really bad. And I watch like 5 seconds and I have to tap out. And I just
sissy. I like how you'll find one and then you'll send it and it's like, no, I've already got that one. I watch this guy on the regular. He's so like the Chinese guy that wears like the really too tight clothes and he just stands still and he sings so good.
It's your algorithm infecting mine.
The woman who's the vocal coach, hers are amazing.
And it wasn't obvious to me, but apparently I'm a dumbass that the guy who did Buffalo Bill's voice was was Rusty Nail's voice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to go. Just waiting.
Ted Levine was a Rusty Nail, and he does have a very distinct voice. And I go, he sounds kind of like Buffalo Bill. And I was doing research. He's uncredited as Rusty Nail. So
why do they call him Buffalo Bill Clarice?
Because he liked to skin his hump. End scene for both of us. So lots of filming locations in Nevada, Utah, and California. Tons of reshoots. One of the things that's interesting about this movie is that there is, on the DVD, there's so many alternate endings. There are a ton of alternate endings. I think 4 that you can easily see on the DVD. Just...
And man, here I'm going to be stuck with the one that I watched on Amazon. Gosh darn. I'm still shocked they need to do reshoots because it seems like a movie that you could get right the first time.
Seemingly, yes. Do you want to hit us with the critical consensus?
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, you know what they do on the Rotten Tomatoes? They aggregate the reviews. That's what they do on the Rotten Tomatoes. 74% of 116 critics' reviews were positive. Wow. And that's an average of 6.6 out of 10. And the website's consensus is as follows. A well-constructed B-movie thriller. If the movie is graded on a curve, yes. Joyride keeps up the necessary level of tension and chills. Critics also like Zahn's performance as the goofball older brother. And complete piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't think I would say he's a goofball. He's just a fucking asshole.
He's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
All right. So Metacritic... 75 out of 100 based on 31 critics. That indicates generally favorable, and audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B+, again, because of the intense curve.
Yes, it definitely is a curve.
They curved that grade. Kevin Thomas of the LA Times called the film terrific escapist fare, stylish, outrageous, and compelling. I would also like it to note that Kevin is a very boring man that doesn't get out much. He also states Joyride is a high-wire act full of risks and shameless in resorting to old ploys only to put a fresh spin on them. As an action comedy played at the darkest pitch, Joyride is a plus for all concerned, especially its actors. I would like to know how much of that budget they slid towards Kevin to write that. A.O. Scott of the New York Times, or as we like to call him, A.O., wrote that the film is much more effectively terrifying than the usual overplotted, underwritten Hollywood thriller. Scott also commented, it's also surprisingly funny thanks to a playful script by Clay Tarver and J.J. Abrams and a mischievous performance by Mr. Zahn. Mischievous. Gotcha. Roger Ebert. Maybe he just didn't rub these guys raw as he did me. I wanted drop him off at a truck stop. Hey, look, Rusty Nail, this was his idea. Fucking sorry about that. He's a piece of shit. Been in and out of jail. Barely know the guy. I only did it trying to, get to know my brother a little bit. I apologize. He's on the side of the road and he's holding a CB. Have at him. Mm-hmm. Just keep driving.
I'm the same with you. I felt like he was a total jerk. I don't think there's anything really endearing about him, that he probably should have dumped his ass on the side of the on the highway as soon as the shit started happening. Just was not.
I'm still amazed he bought the car for that amount of money and he was going to drive that thing across country. That right there. All right, Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times awarded Joyride 3.5 stars out of a possible 4.
Wow, Roger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Described the film as a first-rate, pure thriller.
All right.
You ready for more of this? Anchored by convincing characters in a halfway plausible setup. All
halfway.
Right. Yes. And then he had, quote, quibbles, end quote, about aspects of individual scenes, but also said the climax was relentlessly well crafted. Summarizing, there is a kind of horror movie that plays so convincingly we don't realize it's an exercise in pure style. Halloween is an example, and John Dahl's Joyride is another. Both films have an evil, marauding predator who just keeps on coming no matter what and always seems to know what the victims will do next. Okay, I take great umbrage to this, that they mentioned this film in the same league with Halloween.
Yeah, totally.
Even putting him in the same sentence. Holy smokes.
My big complaint is that there was not enough deaths. You know what I mean? This guy's supposed to be like this insane killer, and he's ripping people's mandibles off and stuff like that. And he's doing stuff, but he didn't really, for all the talk that he didn't really do enough. I wanted more carnage in this movie. And, for the girl, this is jumping ahead, for the girl that he kidnapped from the college, for her still to be alive at the end, just conveniently in the back of the truck, I thought that was a cop-out. I wanted.
Yes, that was a bit of a cop-out.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen Hunter. Wow, this just goes on forever, doesn't it? Stephen Hunter of the Washington Post has to say, in noir, everybody's guilty, and that's one of the pleasures of Joyride. And the flaw in Joyride isn't the ride at all. That's the coolest part, but the arrival, the movie, like so many other American products of late, turns dully obvious at the end. Joyride, as much fun as it conjures, just ends up going no place fast. I think the only one not guilty of anything was Lily Sobieski's character, other than being interested in that doofus.
Yeah, she was just, no pun intended, she was just along for the ride.
She was along for the ride.
Yeah.
Lisa Schwarzbaum of Entertainment Weekly stated Joyride zigzags across the conventions of genre, occasionally driving on the shoulders of black humor. It's a road movie for the way we process suspense today, and very recognizably the zany, brainy work of John Dahl, the urbane neo-noirist.
Urbane.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've heard his music, that Keith Urbane. I've heard his stuff. Destin Howe of the Washington Post remarked the story, although it's scripted with impressive gravitas by Clay Tarver and J.J. Abrams. Let that sink in, what this guy just said. Scripted with impressive gravitas. Wow. Seems more like a conduit for suspense. That's why I called this movie an exercise, because Dahl is almost playfully trying to scare the bejesus out of you. Joyride is about running or driving for your life, plain and simple. Joe Layden of Variety called the film a hot-wired white-knuckle thriller and wrote that it maneuvers more smoothly and avoids plot holes more consistently as it steadily gains momentum while speeding through familiar territory. Paul Lee of Bloody Disgusting opined, the film yields every now and then so viewers can catch their breath, but once this taut and frantic thriller picks up speed again, Joyride earns its place as one of the best movies of its kind.
All right.
Okay, that was all overwhelmingly very, very positive for a movie that I did not find all that great.
What were your major complaints with it?
Well, I can just sum it up in three words for you. Boring as shit. It was a whole movie of not a lot happening. We drive, they say something scary on the radio. We drive some more, they say something scary on the radio.
I agree with you in the sense that there wasn't a body count. You know, I wanted this guy to be like hacking up people left and right, up and down the road. And I think the Hitcher is a similar movie, but much better in what happens. You know, I think, and there's the movie Duel that Steven Spielberg, it was a TV movie where, you know, the guy's getting chased by the truck all the way through the movie, but there is no explanation. You never hear from the trucker. You never know what's going on. It's just relentlessly chasing him through the movie. It's like Jaws with the truck in a way, because it's just, you know, it just never stops. And this movie gets kind of boring in places. There are some parts that I thought were pretty good. But yeah, I agree with you in the sense that not a lot happens when you're hoping it would.
Yeah, and I'm not getting I didn't get the zaniness of it at all. I didn't get any of the zany comedy.
And that he would buy that Paul Walker's voice would pass his candy cane or whatever, you know. Hey, whatever, you know. Just,
why are you candy cane? That candy is rusty now with candy cane.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. Yeah.
I'm standing there with a bottle of rosé for candy cane. Like the pink champagne.
Yeah. So Lewis Thomas is in California, decides to drive cross country to pick up his, did I say cross country?
Cross country.
Cross country.
No, he doesn't drive across to go pick her up. He sells his plane ticket to get laid.
Yes. And this movie, that's the most realistic part of the movie, is the extent a guy will go
to get laid.
There's a possibility that he's going to get laid. Yes.
He's going to drive from there all the way across in hopes that he's going to get some.
Yeah. And she's going to school in Utah. So how likely is she going to give him Steve Zahn's going to shake the bed while they're
doing a little soaking. For those of you that are not privy to certain aspects of the Mormon religion, just look up soaking Mormon and read the description. You'll get it.
Yeah. So he drives a beat up 1971 Chrysler Newport, and that car must not have been expensive at all, or that plane ticket was either really expensive or the car was dirt ass cheap. One thing it does capture, though,
where's he flying? Where's he flying from? So he's Berkeley, so he's probably flying from San Francisco, right?
Mm-hmm. All the way to New Jersey.
Was it New Jersey or Salt Lake City?
Well, Salt Lake City to pick her up, but he's driving to New Jersey to go his last destination. Okay,
I'm really curious.
Mm.
So plane tickets from San Francisco to New Jersey was this 2001?
Yeah.
2001. Okay. Average between 300 and 450 round trip for standard economy. Discount carriers occasionally offered promotional fares closer to 150, while last minute business class tickets could easily exceed $1,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of plausible.
That he bought the car for $150.
Economy was different back then. Gas was $1.28.
Okay. So round trip, yeah, $300 to $450.
Yeah. One thing I do, and I mentioned it, do enjoy, but I mentioned it previously, is just that road tripping thing. I don't think it really feels the same anymore with satellite radio and Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. If you were driving from one destination to another, you had the radio, FM and maybe AM radio, and lots of seedy truck stops. Maybe you would see a Stuckey's along the way. But,
dude, books on cassette, or your boombox with batteries in the back seat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry that you had the very pedestrian, I'm just going to stick with the radio, but those of us that were out of the box thinkers, the big thing too was MapQuest. So when Sammy and I first got married, it was MapQuest because I think we were living in Santa Cruz, California at the time, from Santa Cruz all the way back out to Durango, Colorado. And we had our MapQuest. We had that thing printed. We put it in the plastic sleeves, put that in the binder, and that was our Bible. We had directions printed to get there and get back.
Exactly what Jamie and I did when we got married. We drove from Albuquerque to Las Vegas. We printed out the old MapQuest map, and then every turn was specifically mapped out for you. Mm-hmm. But before that, you just had it was a big guide, like a highway guide, and it had like
the Rand McNally. The Rand McNally.
Yes, exactly. That was like your Bible if you were taking a trip, because before GPS, you had to figure out what the hell you were. My stepdad drove us from Farmington, New Mexico to Virginia.
Oh.
And it was a terrible journey. And I was haunted by Madonna's song Live to Tell, because every city that you went into, there was a top 40 station, and top 40 station within 10 minutes would play Live to Tell by Madonna. And it's not a bad Madonna song, but when you hear it every 20 minutes, it's not good. It's not good. That and like Under the Milky Way by The Church was also a song that haunted me through a road trip. Everywhere you would go, just could not stop hearing Live to Tell.
If I live to tell the secret.
And I've never seen the movie that it was from, At Close Range with Christopher Walken and Sean Penn. It looks good, but I've never seen it.
If you live to tell about the secret, I don't like secrets. They're spooky to me. Oh, so great. I need more Christopher Walken. I need to find me a Christopher Walken movie this week.
King of New York is always streaming. That's one of my favorites. Oh. It's one of the best Christopher Walken movies. It's
full of tampons. They're for the holes, motherfucker.
Lawrence Fishburne in that movie is so goddamn good. This is Jimmy Jump. And it's got a really good cast. I mean, you got David Caruso, Wesley Snipes, Christopher Walken, Lawrence Fishburne, Steve Buscemi, Giancarlo Esposito. I think is that? No. What's the other guy? The guy who's he plays in Pulp Fiction. My name is Paul, and this is Between You All. Like the guy's in there too. Yeah, it's a good movie. Let's go back to a not as good a movie.
Not as good a movie.
So he pretends to be Candy Cane, and he's getting all explicit with Rusty Nail on the CB, and they decide to be dicks and convince the Rusty Nail to meet this other guy who's being a dick in a specific hotel room, and the guy is brutally mutilated. That part was kind of fun, just knowing that shit was going down in the next room because you guys are assholes and were pranking somebody. I thought that was pretty entertaining. But why was he just mutilated? They needed to like behead him and put his head on the CB antenna on the old car or something like that. Just wasn't.
It's just very childish, but all I could think of when I saw that guy was,
without his mandible.
Just that huge, all those teeth coming at you.
Well, it makes me think of the first zombie in Day of the Dead that comes into where the titles come in, and then it's a zombie. He doesn't have the bottom. He doesn't have his jaw, and his tongue is just kind of hanging there.
Can't really bite anybody, but you can kind of like seesaw back and forth at him and see if you can hack at him like a hatchet.
So I think being chased by somebody is compelling. Getting chased by a big truck or something, and it is a scary premise. And I think the first 20 minutes of Jeepers Creepers does a really good job of that as well. Before you see the monster, when they're getting chased by the creeper in the truck, that part is scary, and that's a scary concept.
Jeepers Creepers! A supernatural entity has vanity plates.
Yeah, how did the creeper get his plates registered?
Vanity plates. Beating you.
Yeah, they try to involve the police. Of course, the police don't believe them. They could be suspects, and the whole deal. It's just everybody's out to get you. They apologize, and they finally pick up Venna, and then it just kind of brings the stakes up because Lewis is trying to protect her, and Fuller's trying to be a dick and pick up on her and stuff like that. And it just, he's a dick. That's like total bro code. Don't ever break that.
His character is very easy to sum up. He's just kind of a dick.
Dick. Yeah.
I love how they kept showing Paul Walker throwing down that credit card.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is Paul Walker's deal. He throws down the credit card, and we're going to film that every single time. Because you didn't know there was a credit card. Here he is doing the credit card. Boom, little signature. Boom, little signature. Out of there. How
much credit do you have when you're a 20-year-old and a college student? That's when you first get a credit card and they make you get duped into signing up for a MasterCard at like 40% interest rate.
Yeah, maybe it was mom and dad's. He was the one good kid.
Yeah, that's true. The brother was a fuck up. Yeah, when Venna gets kidnapped, that kind of raises the stakes up, and he also is insinuated, or not insinuated. He kidnaps Venna's friend from her college campus, and he supposedly is going to kill her, and he's got Venna in the hotel room, and it's all kind of done up to trigger a shotgun if somebody opens the door. That part was kind of exciting. I thought it was pretty well done, but there's no body count. The Steve Zahn's character should have died. And
I would like to know what kind of magical Bugs Bunny digging through the ground wormhole action that Rusty Nail had to get everywhere so quick ahead of everybody driving that semi.
It's just kind of like that Apex movie with Charlize Theron, where like, how the fuck does he get so far ahead upstream? When she's floating downstream, and 10 times the rate you could run or walk. Yeah, just the magical.
That movie's still bugging you. It's still stuck in your craw,
still bugging me. Yeah, just something about it just rubbed me the wrong way. I just thought it was just.
Was it the beef jerky?
It was the beef jerky. Yeah, it wasn't really that bothered me. You knew that was going to happen. I don't know. Just going back to it, I just thought it was like a fancy REI commercial.
I got up to go to the bathroom when I get back, and my wife's like, "Oh my God, you missed it. We got to rewind it." He's got his teeth all filed down. He just put his caps back in. I'm like, I don't really feel that I missed anything. I don't feel I missed anything at all. I think we can keep watching, and I'll be good.
Yeah. I almost thought that if the movie was going to go super, super dark, that Venna would have got shot by the shotgun, and that would have been like real stakes, real consequences for the shit that they did, because they don't really suffer any consequences other than the guy getting mutilated, and they are like, everything's fine, and maybe he didn't die, and he's still on the CB, and maybe he's still out there, but I didn't feel like they paid for what they did. What they did.
Wow, you're really Captain Law and Order there, man. There's got to be some consequence in you.
Yeah, there was an alternate ending that was way longer. Different versions include Rusty Nail committing suicide with a shotgun, Rusty Nail being arrested, Rusty Nail dying in a truck explosion, Rusty Nail being beaten by the brothers, and Rusty Nail being run over by his own truck. The test audience preferred the unresolved mystery.
Candy cane. Are you out there, Candy cane? Candy cane.
Yeah.
I'm calling you Candy Cane right now, Eric.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm here. Bring the pink champagne. Yeah.
You going to get out your can of compressed air to make me stop?
Yeah, right here.
there it is.
That's an allusion to last week when one of my cats was meowing really, really loud, and I had to use the Kitty Be Good spray, which is compressed air that scares them and makes them run away. Yeah. For those following along,
yeah, you're not going to be forcing a cat to do anything it doesn't want to do.
Yeah, I enjoyed when we watched it. I enjoyed it, but the more I thought about it, the more it kind of fell apart in what happened, and it, being the horror fans that we are, it just wasn't scary enough, and it didn't really, just have that oomph that you needed. Nobody got pulled apart and drawn and quartered like Jennifer Jason Leigh in The Hitcher.
Hitcher, yeah.
Those are some repercussions there.
I mean, if I'm thinking about tension, right? What can you think of one scene in a modern movie that like a noir-esque movie that had that kind of tension? One pops into my mind immediately. And you know what's happening, you know what's going to happen, but it still has some tension in it.
Mm-hmm. What pops in your mind?
What's in the box?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
What's in the box? Tension all over the place.
And I'll go back to Obsession. There was a creeping dread through that movie that you could not shake. It was just unsettling, and you just felt uncomfortable the entire movie. It was, kind of like Midsommar did the same thing in a way, where everything just felt off. Everything's so bright, and everything is just weird. Hereditary was really good in that kind of all-consuming dread kind of situation where you're just like, this is fucked up. What I'm watching right here.
You know what doesn't cause dread? Running in straight lines down cornrows.
Yeah.
When something is driving straight at you and not, maybe thinking a little serpentine action, quick little turn. I mean, big rigs aren't known, especially for their nimbleness.
It's also kind of like the giant ship rolling in Prometheus, where they're just running away from it in a straight line as it rolls exactly in the direction it's running.
Yeah.
So I included a link for the notes for creepycatalog.com 45 road trip horror movies. And there is quite a few in there, starting with The Hitchhiker from 1953. Hitchhiking movies are kind of scary. And the one there was an old Twilight Zone where there was a hitchhiker on the road that scared the shit out of me. And there was also Creepshow 2 where the guy's like, thanks for the ride, lady, after she runs him over. And he keeps showing up over and over again.
Yeah.
Psycho, I guess, is a road trip horror movie because she steals the money and then she leaves to escape and then winds up at the hotel. So I think it kind of fits in the sense where they're leaving someplace and then going to a
worse place.
The worst place. Night of the Living Dead is included in here, and we haven't done that yet. We still need to do that. Well, maybe it was October and rolls around, we'll get to that one because that's Barbara and her brother Johnny go on a road trip to go visit the old cemetery, and shit goes chaotic. Badlands, I don't even consider that a horror movie, but it is, it's kind of like the blueprint of Natural Born Killers, where a guy and his young girlfriend go on a killing spree. Terrence Malick movie. It's pretty good. Texas Chainsaw, that is definitely a backwoods road horror movie.
Yes, it is.
That is like the quintessential one. I think that is like the blueprint for so many.
Children of the Corn.
Yeah, Children of the Corn is one too. Exactly.
He walks behind the rows, and I will watch the shitty remakes of Children of the Corn.
I know you've watched all those, like, Bloodlines. There's always a sequel with Bloodlines in it. Race with the Devil from 1975 is included in this, which was pretty damn good. The Hills Have Eyes. Yep, you're out in your RV and you get attacked by mutants. Tourist Trap. I love that movie. We've done that one as well. Off the Beaten Path. Motel Hell. We need to do that one. That's a pretty crazy one. Fritters. Road Games is actually, I wanted to watch that this week. I hadn't had a chance to yet, but that's an Australian movie where Jamie Lee Curtis and Stacy Keach are out there. Children of the Corn, The Hitcher, Near Dark. There's a lot of these that we have done movies, done podcast episodes on. Vanishing, Highway to Hell. I remember that box. You can go and come back if you want. I'll just keep chatting. Or do you want to
edit it out?
Yeah, edit it out. Yeah, go ahead. So more road trip horror movies. Midnight Ride from 1990. That is Mark Hamill. I've never seen that one. Highway to Hell, 1991. California, which we've talked about a couple of times with David Duchovny. And I think we probably should watch. I think I need to watch that one. From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, that's definitely a road horror movie. Breakdown with Kurt Russell. I have not seen that one in a long, long time. And Jeepers Creepers, which we talked about. Joyride from 2001. Say Yes, Korean. Dead End. House of a Thousand Corpses. High Tension. Wrong Turn. Wolf Creek. Death Proof. They made a Hitcher remake in 2007.
Candy Cane, I think you pronounced it Joyride.
Joyride, I did. I don't know why I did that.
Candy Cane.
Road Games did a remake. Movie called Southbound. So yeah, this is a genre that is just popular. It comes around every once in a while, and they've got some decent movies of it. I think next week we are going to do. Let me look at our potential release dates. We're going to be doing End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I think is streaming on Amazon Prime right now.
Ooh, nice.
I have not seen that one in ages, so I'll have
quite a while
to check that one out. So, yeah. Once again, we're trying to do a little bit of a video, some video content, and hopefully we'll get better at it. I'm just learning how to do the editing and stuff on the Instagram and the.
This is what's going to convince everybody. We have faces made for podcasts.
Yes, exactly. Faces made for podcasts. You can see that I have bags under my eyes, and the lighting makes me look a little shiny. But we're going to give it a try. Hopefully, David will be back with us next week. But if you want to send us,
we should have David do a video.
Oh yeah,
make David do a video.
Yeah, we'll make David do a video. Hey, and then he'd be watching the NBA finals on it.
Talk about movies and stuff, but I got the game on right now. I'm going to talk to you guys about some stuff.
That's a scary impression of David.
Hey, you nerds! Talk about this one time, and they're back there, saying, yeah.
I was smoking a lot of weed at the time. I had mononucleosis, and I was smoking a lot of weed at the same time. If you want,
he's come a long way. He has come a long way.
He has come a long way. He's a responsible adult with a good job. But he was the quintessential 90s slacker when he was a teenager. I was there. I was there dating his sister. Send us an email, rvspodcast222@gmail.com. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you have any suggestions, hit us up. And we appreciate you listening. And we'll be back next week with End of Days, where Schwarzenegger fights the devil.
It's the end of days.
Cocainum.
Anything to add, Neil? Yeah, I've been watching How to Catch a Smuggler on Disney Plus, and I recommend everybody watches it. Just to watch the video. Just to watch the ones that are coming out of Colombia. And the cocaína. Good about the cocaína.
The cocaína? The yayo?
So good. So good.
All right. I'll have to check that out.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good week.
Thank you for listening to the Retro Video Store Podcast.